Hello, everybody. It is June 16th, 2022, and this is the 137th episode of Loose Screws. So that's a bit misleading because we've got a bunch of interview episodes and stuff where we had, the Burrs and stuff like that on here and Astro. So we've actually had 154 episodes. But those are like bonus. Apparently I am because I'm bringing it up. But officially it's the 137th episode, and we're a couple months away from hitting the 3-year mark on this insanity that you started. Joining me tonight are Ty and Dubs. I'll get to each one of them. I just want to mention that the show tonight is being hosted by 3 guys who have a combined 10 minutes in game in the last week. I've been super busy with work. We'll find out, love why Ty hasn't been able to, and I can't wait to hear Dubs' excuse. But
don't forget, our IQ matches our minutes in game this week.
Close. All right, let's go. Let's go because Dubs thinks he's cool. We'll go with Ty first. What's been new in your life in game? Well, obviously nothing in game, but in other games, or talk about anything you goddamn feel like.
Well, I think the biggest thing I want to talk about real quick is that once again, thank you, FDev, for possibly giving me problems with the game I want to play. I can't get past the launcher at this point. The Frontier Elite Dangerous launcher fires up, and when I hit play, it just crashes, and the game never actually starts.
You were just talking about how your RGB isn't working properly. Could that be it? Get your RGB fixed.
I just got through, just now, I just got through doing a Windows update, and then on the restart of that, it didn't start up the G-Skill software to run my beautiful RGB RAM. And I understand that whenever your RAM is not RGB, you're only running about 50%. I get that. But I'm sure a reboot will fix that. But I decided to do podcasts instead of a reboot. So
good choice.
Yeah.
Very good choice.
I do have another hardware review this week if y'all are interested to hear it.
Go to town because we don't have much to talk about this week.
Okay.
So go to town.
So yesterday, after much wait, I received my Steam Deck. And that's kind of the long and short of it. I'm still installing games. So
have you had a chance to play on it, or you're just installing games?
So you can play while you download. So I'm trying to get Elite Dangerous installed on it, even though it says it's not supported or whatnot. I know people are doing it because that's actually the game. I wouldn't mind playing it there at this point because I can't play it on my freaking, ridiculously expensive rig. So I'm at a point where now I'm going to have to reinstall Windows to eliminate that as a possibility. That's where I'm at, which is absolutely ridiculous because I don't have any other problems with any other game. But anyway.
And you fully reinstalled Elite. You got rid of everything, purged every record of it being on your system, reinstalled it, and you still have the problem.
Yep.
Huh.
Pretty irritated about it. But the worst part about it is, now, arguably, I haven't spent hours upon hours of troubleshooting this. The worst part is that because where I live, my internet is kind of dog shit, or rather my download speeds are kind of dog shit. So
define kind of dog shit.
Well, on a good day, I have 150 meg down, 10 meg up.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not great.
It's not great.
I would be upset.
I was 100 meg until like 2 months ago, and then finally got something better where I could 400, and it's actually closer to 500, but 100 isn't bad.
No,
I thought you were going to say like a 1 meg or something, but
no, it's not horrible, but I mean, let's be realistic.
It's really a first world problem, dude.
It is a first world problem.
I got 100
people are getting
internet.
shot at in Ukraine right now, and I'm bitching about my 150 down. So
yeah.
And my Steam Deck downloads take a while, so that's That's what I'm bitching about. No, the biggest problem is seems like it's not so much like the gameplay stuff seems like it's fine on the 150. The problem is the downloads. I feel like they throttle my downloads because like it'll start off pretty good, and then like after about 10, 15 minutes, it's just like, well, we're going to creep along now. So installing a game takes quite a while most days. So anyway, but yeah, Steam Deck, I'm happy with it so far. I got emulator set up on it, and I got a few Steam games set up on it. I'm in the process of getting Elite Dangerous set up on it, so I can actually sit down and play with I play some No Man's Sky, I play some Secret of Mana, I play a little V Rising, and I played some emulators, of course. I'm pretty happy with it. I don't really know how much I'm going to be playing it as a mobile situation, but I like the fact that I have options now. And when I originally got it, I was really wanting to get it as basically a computer for the living room and do it, plug it in as a dock kind of thing and make it the living room computer, like a media center kind of thing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But Valve has now canceled the Steam Deck dock, or at least they've put it on hold indefinitely due to chip shortages. So I was really kind of on the fence of even still getting the dang thing, but then like a couple days later, the order was able to be finished process. I'm like, well, I'm going to order the damn thing at this point. So at this point,
when it was first announced, I was like, this is like the coolest thing ever. And then I thought about it more, and I had pre-ordered it, and then I canceled my order because the more I thought about it, I'm like, I don't know. I play PC games for to play on my PC. It's input as much as anything. Why I play on PC. I can have the HOTAS and all that stuff. I keyboard and mouse for first-person shooters, all of those things. If I want to play on a controller, I often sit on the couch and will just play a console game. And I don't want to play games that I play on my PC a lot of hours using a certain control scheme and all of a sudden going to controller just to do it handheld. And I decided it just wasn't something for me, but I also, play on high-end hardware and shit too. So I just didn't want to, I don't know. The Steam Deck just never really got me. It got me excited for about 48 hours. Yeah. And then the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, well, I don't know. It's like a PC game emulator, really. It's just a dumbed down PC that you play on a small monitor.
Well, there's a couple things that really kind of excited me about it, that I'm still kind of excited about. So like turn-based RPGs, like say Divinity or even the new Baldur's Gate, I feel like are going to be more fun on there because they're kind of, you can, battles in those games, then you can have 45 minute, hour-long battle with just some trash in those games, So being able to kind of do that while, because it's turn-based, you kind of pick up or put down. So in my mind, I'm like doing some things like in Elite or whatnot while flying between planets or whatever. I reach over and like do it, take a couple turns on the battle or whatever, Well, Ty, you could just tab out, tab back in. I could do that, but then I would have the portability of it. And also the sitting in bed before I actually go to bed and playing a couple little games on the emulator portion of it kind of interests me. And again, I originally got it before it being something to sit in the living room as a media player computer. But the problem is that they don't have a dock no more. And I've read and watched videos of people like hooking up USB-C hubs and getting a USB-C to DisplayPort or HDMI. Like there are ways you can get around it and still do it. But and there's actually, I found a really good place where someone did it, and actually might get you to print this out for me, Dubs, where they actually you can actually 3D print a dock for it, and then you buy the board or whatnot and the wiring, and then you have a Steam Deck dock. So I might still do that. Yeah, I might still do that with it. I don't know. I haven't made final decisions yet. I will say this much: when I had to do the emergency run to the bathroom right as I got home, It's perfect for the toilets.
That's what I got my Retroid for.
Yep.
Play some old school Nintendo games while sitting on the shitter.
Well, see, I can do that, or I can fire up, V Rising, or No Man's Sky, or hopefully Elite Dangerous at some freaking point.
I have a feeling I'd end up on the toilet so long my legs would go numb if I did something like that. So
Yeah, that happened.
yeah, I bet it did. Dubs, what about you? What's happening in your life? Why didn't you get into game this week? Tell us the secrets.
Completely honest, I don't fucking remember. It's just been work. It's just been hot as hell down here in Texas, and being at work most of the day outside, then coming home. Not to mention, got my fucking wife's Suburban's engine torn basically completely apart. So any free time I would have, it's going to be spent on that. So
Gotcha.
no game time for me. So that's
Brutal.
my excuse. But I don't know if I want a Steam Deck or not either. I kind of do, but I kind of don't.
Yeah.
Because any time that I would have time, or like if I would be in a position to use it away from my computer, I don't have time to use it at that point.
Yeah, that's just it. If I'm not at my computer playing games, it's because I don't have time to play games.
Yeah. If I have time to play games, guess where I am? I'm at my fucking computer. So
Yeah.
And also,
what you're saying.
Going off of your hardware review last week, I was looking at that keyboard. By the way, I was thinking about buying it for the wife.
I really like it. Like, the more I've actually had about 2 weeks with it now, I'm very, very happy with it. I don't know if I like the analog option of it as much as I did
And which
before.
keyboard was that again? Just in case somebody's listening who didn't listen last week.
Is the Razer Huntsman analog.
Okay.
Now the word analog on it is kind of key because they also have a Razer Huntsman V2 or V3 or something like that. And that one still has like the Cherry MX clicky style switches. The analog switches are just like you think they were. They are pressure sensitive. The further you press them down, the more or less they will actuate. So the thing about this is that you can set your WASD to act like an Xbox controller, so that if you barely tap it, you kind of move slow. And if you hold it down, you move faster, etc. And you can set the actuation points and liftoff points, etc. through the software. My one complaint about it, though, is that so a perfect example is Elite Dangerous. So back when I could play Elite Dangerous before the patch, this thing worked. It worked pretty darn good when you walked. I didn't do it on the flying side. I was going to do it on the flying side, but I couldn't get in there because of patch. But on the walking side, you can control how fast you walk. But the problem is that when you go to type in the name of a system to fly somewhere, it doesn't understand that you're in a text box and automatically switch profiles. I was able to fix this problem by creating a button on it to where it'll switch between my two profiles. And I made it the F9 button, which I don't use for anything in any video game. That way I can just literally just toggles between the two profiles. So, and that worked just fine up until Elite Dangerous stopped working for me completely. So
Fun.
Yeah.
So are you going to buy that keyboard, and you said you were going to get it for your wife? Why don't you get it for yourself for Father's Day?
Because I already have a keyboard that cost me $200, so I can't justify buying another one just to throw this one to the side.
You need to do the tricks like I do. You buy that one for yourself, the new one for yourself, and you give your old one to your wife. Look at the awesome keyboard I got you, and then
I guess I could do that, but I also don't believe I have a need for a variable pressure sensitivity keyboard, since I already have my joysticks and stuff for the game that I play.
Yeah, I've upgraded like every single thing I've got, but I'm still using the mechanical keyboard that I got it's a CyberPower PC one when I, got my previous PC as, a pre-built and stuff. And it's a mechanical, it's just the best clicky sound ever. I just love how clicky it is. It's great.
I can hear it.
Yep, I did that on purpose. Bam. But
Ah,
I absolutely love it. And the RGB isn't amazingly programmable or stuff, but I just like it does that like kind of RGB, that rainbow wave kind of going across it, just nice and calmly, and it's fine. And I keep looking at keyboards, and I've almost pulled the trigger, I don't know, a dozen times or more on getting, a fancier keyboard with more features and stuff. But then it's just a keyboard. I don't know.
I mean,
It's like
you
the one
think
thing
it's
I
just a
haven't done.
keyboard until you see the RGB effects of new ones. I got mine set up on what's called the ripple effect. All the keys are blue, but when I press a key, it changes to red and then it ripples out like a
Yeah.
shock wave across the keyboard.
Yeah, that's one of the settings I can do is something along those lines too. They call it like the explosive effect or something. Every time you hit a button, it bursts out from that button. But I don't know. That seems a bit frenetic to me. I like just calming, a nice
It
calming keyboard. Just calming,
The
calming.
RGB increases the performance. I guess they
Yeah.
give another update on personal stuff. I reprinted the titty Glock, the lower for
Yay!
it,
Nice.
because the locking block broke the tabs off. Because I decided the first iteration was going to be printed with just regular old PLA. So I decided to go with PLA Plus this time, and then I decided to be even more extra, and I was like, hey, what if I bed the locking block into the frame with JB Weld? It'll be even stronger, right? But me and my 5 brain cells that are left didn't think about the fact that the trigger slides down into the trigger well at the same time that you lower the locking block in. So
You
after
realize
the
you've
locking
lost
block,
about 90% of our listeners are just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about right now?
anyways, I couldn't put the trigger in because the JB Weld had hardened. So I wound up taking a Dremel to this piece of shit. And now if anyone knows what the mini trigger inside the trigger of the Glock, the only safety the thing has, there's nothing for it to contact anymore. So there's no safety. It's just you pull it, it goes.
Every handgun has a safety. It's called the holster.
It's called your
Aw.
finger not being on the trigger.
Yeah. How did you put that the other day?
Keep your fucking booger hook off the bang switch.
There you go. Keep your
Booger
booger hook.
hook.
Keep your booger hook off the bang switch. Exactly. Well, that's a good update. Make sure you post
That's a
some
show title
pictures.
right there, boys.
Booger hook off the
Booger
bang
hook.
switch.
Yep.
Booger hook. Just booger hook. We're going with booger hook. Why not?
I do have one little announcement to make here. For those of y'all that don't know, because I did not know this until today, and it's probably been public, and I just did not know it. But the Steam Summer Sale starts June 23rd and runs until July 7th. Do not buy a video game on Steam until then, because there's a really good chance you will hate yourself on June 23rd. So.
Great. An opportunity for me to go buy more games that I'll put an hour into and never touch again.
I feel you, bud. I
Definitely
feel
gonna
you.
spend some money
Yeah. Well,
if I don't spend it all on hardware first.
uh, me in the last week, like I said, I just didn't get into game without incursions. I don't know. There's not enough bugs to kill. And I've, gotten into this new job. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm a bit obsessive with stuff. And when I'm doing something, I want to do it well. And I kind of go all in. And this new job has kind of been that way, and making, some mad bank, just having a blast doing it. And that's what I've been busy doing. Even like when I've had time off, been making phone calls and doing emails, and it's just been taking up a good chunk of my time. And that's the long and the short of it. And then by the time I do sit down, I like go to log on the game, and it's like that feels like work. So then instead, I just I've flopped on the couch, and I've been watching The Expanse again from beginning to end. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I'm hoping to get some more game time in. I built a bug killing orca I want to try, which should be fun. I haven't even tested. Usually, when I get a new ship for bug hunting, I'll go find a basilisk and see if I can solo it. I haven't even had time to do that. So there's that. Let's see. Headlines for
You'll
this
have to
episode.
see.
No idea. Yeah, there's definitely, that thing's fast. It boosts to 642.
Yeah.
It is a fast girl.
The only problem is it is rather large. It is a physically large ship, and it also has a massive broadside, so you have to make sure you keep the nose pointed at that bastard. And if I
Yeah.
remember right, the base heat stat on that thing isn't stellar, so even around 20%, you may still take a couple rounds. So you may have to try and keep it even lower than what you're used to keeping it.
I'm a heat sink spamming freak when I'm taking fire, so or when I
Okay.
am shooting. So I don't worry about the heat so much anymore. I mean, standing, I'm sitting in space right now, just not in Super Cruise or anything, just sitting in space. I'm at 27% heat on it, so it's not bad. Let's see. Moving down, a squad update. Anybody have any idea? I know there's that ScramJet thing. Have you guys been following what the BGS guys have been doing?
ScramJet name and that sounded kind of cool, and I stopped reading at that point because I just wouldn't understand what's happening.
If I could play.
If you could play, there is that. Let me see. Let me head up to the squadron thing and see what's been happening. Apparently, they chased somebody out of some system and did all kinds of awesome stuff. Bloomingwind 836 has been kind of leading the charge on that, but I know like Boobtron and Arc Shadow and Nurgle and Hate and all those guys have all been working at it. So hopefully, they accomplished what they were going for. My apologies, guys. I just haven't had the time to do it. This has been the first time, like, since I've joined the Discord, that I sometimes don't get a chance to look at the Discord for like a few hours, and then I have so many messages to read and catch up on that I'm like, no fucking way. I just scroll to the bottom. So my apologies. I try to keep up with it as best I can, but you guys talk a lot about a lot of stuff sometimes, and as soon as things calm down a little bit again, I'll catch up on every single message. But it's been too much for me to keep up with the last week. I do sincerely apologize. Should we talk about? Do we want to mention the care package that Crash got? Are we going to bring that up?
I was going to ask you about that, but I mean, do we want to do that? I don't know. You tell me.
You've already brought it up, and you were the one who worked. Well, you orchestrated it. I mean,
okay. Let's. As a community, this community is just super awesome. I just want to give a shout out to everybody in our community. Grover Kiwi put out the idea randomly of doing something nice for Commander Crash. Crash, schedules events for us. I mean, he'll jump his carrier halfway across the galaxy to help somebody out. He's always doing nice stuff for people. And he had been talking it's been a good year, like every week that I'm going to order a VKB stick on Friday. I'm going to order it. I'm finally going to order it. And he's been saying this, and he never freaking ordered it forever. So Grover asked me, just on the download, should we do something nice for Crash? Maybe put together a collection and see if we can get him, the stick ordered. Like, I'll put it out there. I'll see if anybody, if there's interest. I'm thinking I could get $5-10 here, $5-10 there. We could come up with a couple $100 it would take to do this. Well, as soon as it gets out there, next thing you know, I've got like $600 collected. It's like, oh my Christ, what is happening? And Dubs had already said that he would cover half the cost if we could get it. So he'd already decided that he would cover half if need be. So I, in my brain, decided I would cover the other half. Then we would just collect money and just to reduce the amount that we'd each be pitching in. Well, we collected more money. So then we weren't going to be pitching in anything. So then it felt silly. So then we decided, well, let's really go overboard. So we ended up, like first person I asked gave like $136. And I'm going to call him out by name. That's Roy Cookson. Another, big contributor, Ty, gave a nice, big, juicy amount. But I would name everybody. If anybody wants to know everybody that pitched in, you can. If you weren't asked to pitch in, it's just because the first few people I asked gave so much money that it was I didn't want to keep asking, because then I didn't know what I was gonna do with the money. So we ended up getting VKB right stick, Gladiator, left Omni throttle stick, and a badass loose screws t-shirt that Commander Nurgle designed. And we also then decided to upgrade his graphics card because he was running on a piece of shit 1650. And it's like, let's get him a graphics card. So we scrounged up the money, and there was a 3060 we got together, only to find out after he got it that he had some stupid proprietary build gaming computer that he couldn't put the damn thing into without. I mean, do you know more about it than I do, Dubs? The box he had and stuff.
Yeah, it's a small form factor. Like if anyone's familiar with like the Intel NUCs, like it's even smaller than that. It has a proprietary motherboard that can't be upgraded. It has a single slot, like only enough room for a single slot graphics card, so not much room to upgrade there. And the power supply was less than 300 watts. So
What, like
it's a
230?
it was a very purpose built system. Like it was made, you buy it, this is it. Like it's basically a laptop in desktop form. The thing even uses SODIMM RAM. Like you can't upgrade it really.
Yeah.
So
yeah, but tell him what you did, Dubs.
Say what?
Yeah.
Then tell him what you did.
Oh, well, shit, issue. I mean, if anyone remembers my little escapade from a couple months back where I was having trouble streaming to Discord, so I decided to buy a new motherboard, processor, and all that bullshit, I still had my old, it was an Asus ROG Z490E motherboard with a 9700K and 16 gigs of RAM stuck in it. So I was like, well, fuck, it's sitting on top of the dresser in the closet. I may as well make good use of it. So I fucking put it in a box and sent it to him.
So that boy cannot complain about frame rates anymore once he gets it there and put together.
So yeah, I think at this point it should just be case and power supply. He should be able to reuse his hard drive. I left there was some 256 gig M2s I had laying around. I stuffed those in there. They're out of like an old Alienware laptop or something. So those should be fine.
So he should be sitting pretty good. I assume he didn't get it yet. You just shipped those out.
No, it's Saturday is what the tracking shows.
Okay, so this weekend he'll probably need some help getting that up and running. We can talk him through it.
I think between the three of us, we could probably, if he has any problems, to holler at it. Now, if he has problems installing Elite Dangerous, don't freaking ask me. So,
well, you don't have a problem installing it. You just have a problem keeping it working.
Yeah, it's only. Well, I don't want to go into it. It's just been. It's just gonna piss me off. But anyway,
sore subject. It's okay.
And I'll tell you now, like those small form factor PCs. This is what I want to say about this. If you guys order a pre-built computer from pretty much anywhere, Alienware, anywhere, they will put the minimum. It's not even just on the small form factors. I guess I should say that small form factor PCs make great little workstations, and they make great little media centers for like TVs and shit. What they don't do great is gaming computers, like hardcore gaming computers. And if you buy a pre-built computer from somewhere, most of the time, even if it's not form factor, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're going to put the minimum power supply in there. So like if you put a 3060 in there and the minimum power supply that it requires, I believe off the top of my head is a 450 watt power supply, or was it a 350? They're putting a 350 in there. They're going to leave you no headroom. And that's a problem. That's a really big problem from a performance point of view, because if you don't have headroom, it directly affects your cooling, which will directly affect your overall FPS, which will directly affect your sheer performance of your computer. So, I don't know why manufacturers do this. Power supplies are relatively cheap, but it seems like that's where they always skimp money. It boggles me. It really does.
Yeah, and it's not that much more expensive to even double the power supply.
Yeah.
It's not. It's
not even expensive.
Yeah. I saw. I mean, I guess if I was making 10,000 of these, I guess it would add up. But it's. I don't understand. Like I have not ordered an Alienware, but I have friends who've ordered an Alienware, and I popped the case on it, and it's like, well, here's a 425 power supply. That's great. That's just for reference. I have a 750 or 850 in mine right now, And I've considered ordering 1,000 watt. I saw 1,000 watt the other day on Newegg. I believe for 110. And it was fully modular. So
and that's one thing that people need to understand too is you can never have too big of a power supply. There's no risk and harm to your system by having a bigger power supply. Your power supply doesn't push power. Your computer pulls power from the power supply. You can get less efficient if you have way more power supply than you need, but there won't ever be any harm from having a larger power supply.
And the other thing about it is that if there is a direct correlation into the life of the computer and the quality of power supply you put in your computer. Like I have discovered this through many mistakes over the years that there is a direct correlation I have noticed. And I'm not saying like the gold rated or any of that horse shit. That's the gold, silver, bronze shit. That's just how efficient it is for
waste.
Environmental shit. So it's like oh, this thing is gold standard. Don't mean shit.
This means that it's at least 80% efficient, I believe, is what gold means. So
right, and I believe the difference between gold and platinum is 5%, if I'm not mistaken. So it's not worth it at all to pay the $75 extra dollars. Yeah. But anyway, I'm not trying to rag on anybody here. It's just general information. If you are if you're ordering a pre-built computer from anywhere and you get it in, go ahead, go down to a store somewhere, your computer store somewhere, and get you a power supply. They're usually about $75 to $100, and it will work better than the one they're going to put in there 9 times out of 10. The only company I've ever seen them do it right is the NZXT BLD build that they're doing. You go on there, you can actually specify the wattage of the power supply you want, and they'll put a good one in there.
Yeah, that's most like iBuy Power PC, Cyber Power PC. You can go in and you can, adjust things and customize a little bit, and that might be one place you go on and you choose a better power supply. At least more wattage. Don't ever if the build you're putting together says you should have a minimum of 550, go 200 above that. Get at least a 750. I'd go an 850 in that case. Just have overhead, because we see that these video cards just are getting more and more power hungry. So if you want to upgrade in next generation, either CPU or GPU, it's probably going to use more power than the one you have now, and you're going to need more headroom. So why, you probably are going to have to get a motherboard. Why have to get a power supply again? Because if you're not filling your computer with cat hair, those filthy damn animals and their hair getting in everything, as long as that's not happening, your power supply will last you 3, 4, 5 upgrade versions, as long as you have enough wattage.
I'm still rocking the very first power supply I ever bought. It's a Rosewell 1000 watt. What is it? Photon, or it's a Photon 1050, I think. I bought this back when I was using a 2nd gen i7 and a 970. And it's still chugging along in my brand new computer with the 12700K and the 1080 Ti.
I'm about to say my Rosewell power supply, my 850. I can't remember the actual model right now, but this is case number 4 it's been in. I believe it's 5 or 6 years old. I've never had problems out of it. So, I mean, I might right now because I can't run Elite Dangerous, but
that's not the power supply's fault.
Yeah. And so another reason why we're talking about headroom, if you go and look at like these. I don't have the specs right in front of me. I wish I had to pull them up, but I didn't. But like, if you go and look at video cards, and they'll say this one here, requires 250 watts or whatever. But that don't mean you need a 250 watt power supply. All right, that means that it just like when it's fully running, it needs 250 watts or 300 watts or whatever. That's not including your CPU. That's not including their fans. That's not including your memory, which arguably does pull a little, not a lot, but still pulls some.
RGB.
Yeah, the RGB, got to have it. It's not including, your USB ports, your keyboard, mouse. It's not including any of that. So that's why you want the headroom, because like if you go get like if the rumors of what we're seeing with these NVIDIA 4000 cards are true, they're talking like these things are going to pull 550, 600 watts. Well,
yeah, that's what I was saying. Like my 3080 Ti pulls 450 already.
Well, there you go.
Each generation pulls more power.
Right. So anyway, we can beat the dead horse here. I think you've already covered it. I don't mean to go back around. So
we love to talk in circles. It's great.
Yeah, we found what Ty loves, and that's hardware.
I do love hardware, dude. I do. I do.
But he can't get any software to run right for him. It's weird.
Every game I own runs fine, but that motherfucker, every single one.
Yeah, it's a good thing you don't do a podcast about that one.
Oh,
okay. Let's whip through a couple other things here. The Thargoid Bug Report this week. We'll do a bug sound. Bzz. I don't know. That's all I got. Thargoids, still no freaking incursions, even though everything seems to be pointing towards, we're going to have this big Thargoid thing happening and salvation is going to save us, blah, blah, blah. There's just no activity. Weird thing this week, the non-human signal source POIs, where you get a threat 5, threat 6, threat 7 that don't have a timer, they're just points of interest, are back in the last systems that had incursions. So you can go, go to a threat 7, kill the Medusa, jump out of the instance, drop back in, kill the Medusa, and just do that. That's back, but there are no whatchamacallit, incursions or CZs to speak of. Is this intended? No idea. Nobody really knows. Don't know if this is some kind of glitch or if it's a signal of something to come. But rumor has it, I haven't confirmed and I haven't had a chance to read too closely, is that the signal sources are only appearing in Odyssey 2. They're not showing up if you log in on Horizons. So once again, I have no idea. I thought it was supposed to be the same universe in both, so I figured points of interest would be the same in both, but
they're not.
Yeah,
I just found out today that Dav's Hope is not in the same spot it's in Horizon as it is in Odyssey.
What?
Yeah,
probably a few hundred kilometers away.
Yeah, the GPS coordinates are different.
Yep, that's the Guardian sites are the same way. If you're doing one logging in and out in Odyssey. And let's say you have some kind of glitch, and it's like, I better log into Horizons. You'll be 100 kilometers away from where you were, which is weird. But then you log back the other way and you're back where you were. So
it probably has to do with the way that, it had the terrain
generation
running through, the generation. I'm assuming that the computer system was like, well, that's not going to work right there. So let's just place it over here. They probably have check boxes that the computer went through and said, well, it doesn't quite meet this criteria. Move it over a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that.
I highly doubt they had some poor bastard log in there and manually place every single POI and check that it was working the way it was supposed to.
No, but they should have at this point.
I mean, yeah, they could have. Yeah, it's an option, but that would have been a lot.
It just is one of those things that just irritate. I'm pretty salty about this game right now. So
you can't
salty
play
about the launcher. Yeah, I mean, once you're in, I'm fine. I mean, I guess last week I had a lot of crashes to desktop, but tonight it's been smooth. So there's that.
Yeah, I'm sitting in my Orca right now in space. I'm at 338 frames per second. Everything runs fine.
Yeah, I'm at 100 frames per second at a Thargoid surface site, so whatever. I'm not upset.
Yeah, I'm not upset. I'm happy. This is the greatest game ever. I think not being able to play for a week has got me less salty too. I'm happy. It's good. It's good. Now the bug report. Obviously, Ty has his big bug where he can't even log into the game. Jesus Christ. We need get in there, vote up Trax's GPU utilization thread on the issue tracker. That's I think it's up to 8 or 7. So if we keep voting, keep getting attention, hopefully we hear from Trax and he's got another update or something. So then we can update on that. There was another bug. Double O Scotch reached out to me and asked me to bring this up in the bug report. Apparently, it's might only be affecting console players. Consoles, am I right? But it's a thing where the Codex archive is unable to select articles. They can't do anything in the Codex archive in the game, and that's where you're supposed to be able to, learn your lore stuff and everything in game. So the only way they can do any of that stuff is to go searching for YouTube videos and stuff. It's just dumb, and apparently it hasn't worked for ever, and they just let it not work. If you search it, just go to the issue tracker and search it, Codex archive, and give that some votes up. There's no reason that just a simple function of the game doesn't work at all for no reason whatsoever. So let's help out our console people. They've taken enough beatings. Notes, where are we at? We at Fig Chat yet?
I have a conversation about
bugs.
It's not so much a bug. It's did you guys by chance see the Frontier financial result announcement that came out?
Yes,
a couple days ago or whatever it was.
Yes.
Did y'all see the launch and nurture strategy chart that they posted?
The what?
So you're gonna have to explain this one.
Okay, so I'm gonna post this screenshot. This is one thing I had pulled up. I was wanting to talk about. I'm gonna put this into the recording booth chat. We can talk about it here in a minute, okay? Or we can talk about it right now. So during their presentation, which arguably I have not seen the presentation. I'm not sure it's actually public. I don't know. But during the presentation, they were talking about the launch and nurture strategy for their games. And this is with the cumulative cash flow, as they talk about, year 1, year 2, and how the cash flow goes up for their games is because they have post-launch nurturing of their games. They do it through many years. They do it for many years through the community engagement and having additional content. They reduce risk by identifying opportunities to create genre-leading games that build on our strengths and unique track record. So these are the games that are listed on this. Okay, this is the chart that they created to show their investors. We have Planet Coaster. We have Jurassic World Evolution 1, Jurassic World Evolution 2, and Planet Zoo. Did y'all?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lack of a
Elite Dangerous.
My ass is very chapped looking at this. What the fuck?
Yeah, they don't even mention the motherfucker. They don't even talk about it to their investors. Now, I have not seen the whole thing. All right, but this right here was pretty glaring when I saw this. To me, this basically saying, yeah, we might be done here, guys.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
I'm kind of, yeah, this
really chaps my ass.
I would love to see Elite on this chart to see, the cumulative cash flow. I mean, my guess is it is flattened the fuck out, most likely.
Well, I don't understand. Like, okay, first of all, I feel like these charts, man, they feel like they just threw some shit on a spreadsheet just to show their investors, and it's all graphical. There's no, because if you notice, there is no Y information on the chart as to actually how many thousands or millions of dollars they're making here. And the X graph of the chart here, it just has, year 1, year 2, year 3, etc.
Oh yeah, because it's just cumulative income. All that this really goes to show is like the jump on year 5 of Planet Coaster where it moves up, that must have been an expansion of some type came out
It
that year
was.
because it was really kind of flat, very just kind of mediocre. Then you get that bump up, then it kind of starts to level off, but it's still growing. Jurassic, which one is that? Jurassic Dinosaur Planet, Jurassic World Evolution 1, that was their most profitable, or made the most money, not most profitable, but made the most money and has had very steady growth. Look at Planet Zoo, very steady, nice upward climb. So it's an interesting graph. I would love to see this for Elite Dangerous,
I would
because
love to. I just want to understand how come they didn't include Elite.
no, that's the part that really is freaking annoying.
Yeah.
I can think of why they didn't is because it's probably a flat line for for a while, where hasn't been bringing in much money, but that doesn't make sense either because that they sold copies of Odyssey and that they still were selling Ark, so it's been bringing in money. I don't know. I'd like to see that chart.
The thing about it, this to me, that it's just really like this to me is like, okay, number one, we don't talk about their other games a whole lot, but their planet games and their strategy games, their city building games, I guess we'll call them, they're actually pretty good games. Like I have Jurassic World installed right now. Oddly enough, Frontier was cool enough to give me a copy back in the day. So that's how I have it. I play it every now and then. I think it's a fun game. I bought a couple of the DLCs because I wanted some of the, packs where you can buy the dinosaurs that eat people more. Like one of my fun things to do is get a good Jurassic Park going and then have it be destroyed and have all the dinosaurs eat people. Like that's fun for me. But anyway, which is kind of why we watch these Jurassic Park movies and stuff, because we want to watch people being eaten by dinosaurs. But anyway, they're good games. I work with a couple of people who play Planet Zoo fairly often, and they love the game. And oddly enough, they're both female. So clearly, they have a niche for this. And maybe during the presentation there was an independent slide for Elite. I don't know.
Honestly, now that this is the first time I had seen this, but now that I'm seeing it, it's sinking in what I'm looking at a little bit more. Think of how odd this slide would have been if they would have had to go 10 years, because to put Elite Dangerous on here, they would have had to have 10 years worth. And so then all of these games, look at Jurassic World Evolution 2, only goes barely into year one because that's as long as it's been around. Exactly.
Yeah, come out February, I think.
So also, if you double the x-axis on this graph, it's just going to be a little blip at the very beginning. Elite Dangerous has such a longer history than these games that it would have made the graphic just look asinine. And if you'd have done just the first 5 years of Elite Dangerous, then you don't. You just get Horizons at the very end of it, maybe, and you're not going to have Odyssey, and you're not going to have the cumulative income, show up of the whole life of the game.
Then maybe you go from when the launch of ARCs onward, because let's be honest for just a minute. All of these games right here in the way that they did this chart's a little misleading too, because they played them all at the very beginning. They all released years apart. Like Jurassic 1 and 2 did not release at the same time.
Well, yeah, but that's
right
for a reason. They're showing the starting point of the game, and then year 1 is the first part of the graph, year 2. So you can see how long they've been out. Planet Coaster is obviously the oldest one of the games. Then it's Jurassic World. Then it's Planet Zoo.
Right. So
is 2.
But like in my mind, like all of these things have like DLCs and like a little in-game store where you can buy things. So in my mind, like I don't think ARCs has been out but about 3 or 4 years. Am I wrong on that? Maybe
yeah,
2.
But you could still buy stuff with real money in the game before that.
That's true.
You've always been able to in-game purchases.
I was just thinking like if I'm doing this, I would have put a lead up here from the time that they released ARCs or Horizons, one of the two. Unless if you go back to what I was talking about, 3 or 4 episodes ago, where one of the things that was kind of brought to my attention, for in case people don't know, one of the things that was brought to my attention by a buddy of mine who, he works in the gaming industry, and he brought it to my attention that again, we have to take these numbers with a grain of salt. So, by Frontier's own estimate numbers that they've published, between 3 and 4 million people have purchased Elite, and we don't know how many people purchased Odyssey. We have no idea. But if you go by the Steam numbers at the peak, there was something like less than a third of the people playing Elite are playing Odyssey. Now, how they determine that, I don't really know, and it's all based upon people making estimations. So you have to take it with a grain of salt, and they're not really counting in, console players either, but they didn't get Odyssey anyway. Either way it goes, like a third of the player base didn't buy their expansion. And even if those numbers are drastically wrong, and say that half of the people didn't buy their expansion, that's pretty damn bad. That's pretty bad.
I don't know.
I know.
It's so hard to say, because how many players aren't playing as actively anymore? They just hop on and do this or that. There was a hope that Odyssey would be this great thing and a great, revival for this game, but then they botched the hell out of that.
Yep.
But the number of people that bought it, I don't know how to extrapolate any, information from that. To me, it's just an old game.
And we're also basing the information upon internet numbers that are gleaned from, routers and switches and Steam data, which you have to take all that with a grain of salt. It's just like if they don't announce real numbers, you have to make estimates and guesses, and nobody knows. Nobody has any idea unless you work at FDev. You don't know, and I don't know if they even really know, because they don't have a central server. They have a central login server. They don't have a central. Anyway, I think you see what I'm
they know, yeah, but they know. Look at how they, they're taking snapshots of our commanders, God knows how many times, because they're able to, put somebody back at some save point. Like if you lose your exploration data and put in a ticket, they'll give it back to you because they're pushovers that way.
Yeah.
So they're obviously taking snapshots of every commander. They've got statistics, for days and days, because that's how this game runs. It's just massive, and all you can do is go off of analyzing the statistics. And back to your graphic, and then we'll move away from it, just because we're sitting here talking about a visual thing that nobody can see, and they're trying to they're probably confused as hell. It's we should probably post that in like media or something like that. Media links, maybe video media links, so people can come to the Discord and take a look at it, because I totally missed that. I had heard about the financial reports and some of the things that they're saying, and people are reading all kinds of crazy shit into all of that, and it's so much just business speak. I wouldn't read too much into it. I've got my own opinions on it, but I'm just not even going to touch them, because it is pure just unadulterated speculation. I'm really just pulling opinions out of my ass as I'm trying to analyze what they put out there, and I'm not investing in them anytime soon. So I'm just not going to deal with it.
The last thing, and again, I have not seen the whole thing, but from what I've been told and from what I've seen online, there was very little or no talk about Elite Dangerous during their financial report, which is concerning to me. I consider Elite to be a AAA, or I did consider Elite to be a AAA title. I'm getting the impression Frontier doesn't consider it to be a AAA title anymore.
Yeah, but if you go through the financial, I read through the whole thing. It wasn't that long. They've had more comprehensive ones in the past. If you take, look for how much they talk about any specific game, there's not a lot in there. So if you're a Jurassic World person, you might like, man, they didn't talk about Jurassic World a whole lot. They mentioned it like 6 times or something. They should have mentioned it more. I don't know. It's really
Fair point. That's a fair point.
really trying to read into it. The fact that Elite is so near and dear to us, we're going to notice any Elite exclusion, and read into it a great deal. I'd like to do a mental exercise and pretend I'm a coaster world or whatever the hell that Coaster Tycoon, is that what it's called? I don't even know. I don't give a shit. But pretend that I'm a big fan of that, then go read the financial report and see if I come away feeling doom and gloom or excited. I bet you I'd be feeling doom and gloom because they're not talking about it.
And we can move away, but I would challenge that by saying I've read previous financial reports where they specifically cite Elite Dangerous, and they point it out. It's one of the first things they point out to, and the fact they didn't bring it up this time or brought it up very little is it's just concerning to me. So,
well, they did mention supporting the communities, download, DLC next year. They mentioned it.
Yeah,
I'm just this sounds, I don't want to say cynical. I quit worrying about it. I'm just going to play the game. It's going to be running for a lot of years. I always hope that they're going to, pull the rabbit out of the hat and really, do something awesome that gets a lot more people playing the game with us. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm having fun playing it, I'm just going to keep playing it and quit worrying about, what support they're giving it. Because even when they're giving it full support, they don't really hit the mark.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best way to handle it, best way to think about it too. So
Yeah, just don't think about it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, just close your eyes, open your mouth.
Exactly.
Right. Let's hit the Blame the Bard segment. We got that ready to go. I'll do the choo-choo. Are you ready?
Yeah, while you're doing the introduction sound, I will get it fired up. Actually, I think I'm ready now. So I'm going to go ahead and send it.
Here's B's thing.
Welcome aboard the Tinhadium Express. To the owner of the orange Sidewinder, please return to your hangar to reset your landing gear. You've lost your connection. That out of the way, let's get started. June 9th. The Golconda is ready to go deep all night long, and Palin is ready to moisturize with Thargoid resin. June 10th. Project Seraph test subject mumbles and sputters something about getting revenge. And on June 13th, the Alliance is seriously split by the Axe Pact. June 14th, Salvation squashed a bug and gained superpowers. And for the CG prediction, deliver celebrities, master chefs, and landmines to the Golconda to restock their in-flight entertainment. That's all for this week. Have fun out there.
Yeehaw. B, you do a good job with those things. I like it. It catches me up with stuff and makes me curious. I mean, delivering master chefs, that's golden.
I thought the Golconda blew up. Did it not blow up?
No.
What? No.
No, but there was an explosion on it, right?
That was your anaconda.
Oh.
I have no idea. Does anybody have anything to add on what Bard just presented to us? Do we want to discuss?
I don't think I know enough to add to it. But I don't think there was a catastrophic explosion on the Golconda. I still have the sticker from the first CG dealing with it, but
yeah. I could have sworn that there was with all of the tritium that was being stored in that. I thought I read a Galnet news report about that, but I guess I
thought it was just going to go do a big jump of some kind, wasn't it? I don't know. We're terrible at this. We don't get paid.
We're really bad at our jobs, guys.
Where in the hell are our lore people? They're supposed to know these things.
Well, that's what Bard just played. Should we listen to it again and actually pay attention this time?
Well, he mentioned it. That threw me off because I thought it blew up, but I guess shit.
Yeah, it never blew up. It's Bard. We'll record later next week if you want, so that you can come on and explain this stuff to us because we're smooth brain.
We have questions.
many questions, and Ty thinks that everything got blown up. So we need help, much help. All right, we're on that. Let's do a chit chat this week. As I've mentioned, I did not pay close enough attention to anything in the world. I did do a TikTok dance. I posted a link to it, and in Shig Chat because my daughter talked me into it, and if she got 500 likes, I have to do another one, and it's approaching 900 likes. So it's pretty funny. If you want to see a pasty old white dude dancing like an idiot, you got to check it out. It's in Shig Chat. I did that, so that was a shout out to me. Woohoo! I'm a 12-year-old girl now, apparently. As far as other shout outs, we had Bard. Oh God, you're watching the video, aren't you?
I'm watching it right now, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it's pretty ridiculous. Hey, your daughter's almost taller than you are.
Shut up. Yeah, that was fun. I hope a lot of people go check that out because that was super fun. I'm trying to find. Okay, so first shout out is to Notorious Bard. He got Elite 1 for Space Combat While on Foot. So I'm assuming that's face shooting, the mercenary rank. So good for you, buddy. Nice job. You get a shout out. You got a bunch more dog pics. Some looks like cat pics. I'm not happy about that. But send me more doggo pics. I love the
Wait,
co-pilots.
Do you
What?
not have a cat?
I don't have a cat. No, fuck no.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna mail you one.
But don't put any holes in the box, though. Just send me a dead cat. So Ski612 posted a picture of his dog Finn that just looks so cute. Jello sent his co-pilots Arco and Dulce. Dulce.
Dulce
I don't
and
know.
Gabbana.
All right. Gesundheit. Edarg posted his wife's cat, new stick, I guess. Sponge in Estonian is what he put in parentheses. So apparently new stick. Nustik. Everything about the way that word is spelled and pronounced is just wrong. What else do we got? And then I can check in Squadron. The Squadron feed in game, and this is a good one. This week we had somebody join the Squadron named Kevin the Stabber. I love the name. and then like the next day, like a week later, he got elite rank in Explorer. So I'm wondering if he joined the Squadron just so he'd show up on the feeds, then he'd get mentioned on the podcast. I really hope that's the case. My guess it's just pure coincidence. But good job. Explorer rank is a fun one to get because it means that you've seen a lot of cool shit in this game.
Just how much stabbing is he doing out there, though?
Yeah, this I was about to get to. Like, it's odd that his name is he's a stabber.
Kevin the
But
Stabber.
you can't stab.
Well, while exploring? No,
You can't stab, period. I don't think you can stab anywhere in this game, can you? I don't think so.
That's unfortunate.
I mean, there's like a melee punch or something, but I don't think I think that's the only melee weapon, right?
I think so. I don't know. Can you hit people with your gun? I have no idea. We play this game and we don't know how this works.
You can do a little bit of melee attacking.
Oh my god, I just got a great idea for the 3rd anniversary. Fight Club.
Fight Club.
No, if we can't fight in the open cargo bay of my ship while it's being flown, I want nothing to do with Fight Club.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to land on a planet somewhere and do it that way. That'd be, yeah.
We could stand. Hold on. We could stand on the front of an anaconda and do it. But I mean, it's still not as cool as fighting in the cargo bay because
Yeah.
I'll always think back to that time that what was it, Data, that fell out of the cargo bay of the ship while I was flying it.
I think a few of us fell out. I fell out once.
Oh, you went through the windshield once.
Yep. Yeah, that's Star Citizen. Edison has like, man, I don't even remember how to find my ship or anything, and I'm not going to put in the time to learn how to do anything. I just wanted to see, how it ran, and it ran good and it looked good. So I will give it another go. Probably not until middle of next week. I might be able to find some time to do it.
Yeah.
It definitely still holds the weirdest bug of any game I've ever played. I went to the console, the computer where you retrieve your ship, and there were some stairs. And I don't know, not even stairs. It was like a step down. My dude tripped, fell, and died right there at the fucking computer.
Yeah, that makes sense. Probably had the RGB set wrong.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's either between that one and the bug where I went out to my ship and one of the guns that's supposed to be mounted to the turret on the top was laying in the cargo bay. I went in, saw a massive gun laying there on the floor. Like, what the fuck?
If you fired the gun, would it shoot? Like, go to your controls and
I got in the
stand
ship
in front of it.
I got in the ship and flew off, and the gun stayed in the cargo bay, and it sure as hell wasn't mounted on the outside where it was supposed to be.
Oh, that would have been fun to be in your cargo bay, and then you fire the gun and see if it actually would have shot me in your cargo bay.
I didn't think of trying that, but next time I'll let you know.
Just thought about that right now. That would be interesting. One other shout out, Teflon's thoughts and prayers for his grandpa, 88 years old. He's battling cancer. They're going as a family to visit him. I probably wasn't supposed to say anything about that on here, but just everybody, give a shout out to Teflon's old ass grandpa.
Think about him.
And hopefully he's got another 88 years in him. He'll be as old as Nurgle then. What else we got? Did anybody watch the stream today?
Was there one?
They did
class all day. So
yeah, they did their Frame Shift Live. I tried listening to it a bit at work. When I was doing other stuff, but I don't. It was Arf and was it Bruce or Zach? I think it was Zach and Arf today. And I probably totally wrong. I know I saw Arf's bald head on there, but I don't know who else. They did, their stellar screenshot stuff, and then they were playing in open, and I think gankers were messing with them. But I don't know if there was any news. Nothing was posted on Arf that I saw anything exciting. So I'm guessing nothing.
See, the thing is, none of us have any idea what the fuck's going on, so you're not going to get answers here.
Yeah, we just have to say to everybody, this is what you get when mommy's not around. You get three guys that don't even play the game trying to talk about it because.
I mean, I try when I have time. I make an attempt. It's just things happen.
Well, that's before this week off that I didn't have a chance to play. I was playing like 2 hours a night, shooting bugs and running Tritium, and I was playing probably more than I'd ever played. And then all of a sudden, I didn't get a chance to log in at all, or I was just too tired to even bother to log in. I started, I built this orc and was all gung ho to go kill some aliens with it, and then I just.
Speaking of things, I'm sitting here at this Thargoid site, right? You remember the Thargoid link, those little starfish shaped things that are on the wall inside the thing, right?
Yeah.
Have y'all noticed that they are on the outside of the structure in random places, really far away in some of them, and up on the top and like that little volcano looking thing at the top? There's one in there too.
Well, go put your dick in it.
I'm on my way. I'm gonna go fucking fire a rocket into it.
Do it for Teflon. Have sex with Thargoid structure.
Brian.
All right, we're off the rails.
We usually are. That's what happens when it's like 95 degrees. I'm sweating, and there's nothing really to talk about. I didn't turn on the AC right away. I didn't think of it, and then it starts getting warmer and warmer, and then I'm like, I got to turn on the AC, and it's too late. The AC can't catch up.
It's 100 degrees outside during the day, so I have to keep the AC on. Mm-hmm. I just try to not look at the electric bill until it's time to pay it, and then I cry a little bit.
Sell a kidney, cry a little bit, move forward.
Yeah, Guess I'm not buying more hard drives this month.
Well, I got my electric bill today. They say inflation is the highest in 40 years. It's 8.5%. They say
It's not
inflation is
great.
8%. I got my electric bill today, and it was so high that I went and looked at last year's bill and the usage, and I used the same amount of power last year, and my bill, well, a little bit less actually, just a little bit less last year than this year. And my bill was up 50% over
Holy
last
shit.
year. 50%. That is fucking insane. Because I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, gulp. I'm like, am I using a lot more electricity? Nope. So then I pull up my bank statements to see what I paid last year. And, Minnesota Power, shows each month's power usage as a graph on your bill. And I, counted back the months to last month, same period. And I used almost identical amount of power and 50% more. It's just ridiculous. Screw this
Electricity
stuff.
actually isn't wildly expensive. I just use a shit ton of it.
Oh, yeah, I use a lot of electricity, trust me.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I got a fucking server stack running in the laundry room 24/7.
Yeah,
I don't turn the air conditioning up. Like, it's going to be cold. I don't care.
Yeah, I use electricity a lot. I've got two, very power hungry gaming PCs running in this house pretty constantly. My wife is, be playing on the Xbox in the living room on a 60-inch TV, 65-inch TV. My mom, if she's home, her TV's on, and that's another, 65-inch TV. So yeah, there's a lot of electricity always going. And I've got a teenage daughter, so pretty much every light in the house is on all the time, unless I take a walk through the whole house to turn them all off. But then she walks through and they're all back on. It's insane. That is a true thing that dads, they start to lose their minds over that shit. If you got kids, they leave lights on. God damn it.
Yeah,
I leave the lights on. What are you talking about?
I don't like the dark, so.
Yeah. No, my wife's always yelling at me to turn the lights off because they're reflecting on her screen and she can't see her game.
True story.
I'm just glad that RGB doesn't use electricity. That's a plus.
It does.
Zero, not even one. In fact, RGB produces electricity. Yes, yes. It puts power back in.
Yes.
And I hope Trax hears this part.
The glory of RGB putting juice back into the power grid for everybody else. It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Should we kick this pig? That's put this pig down. What do we do at the end of the show?
Shoot
we
the
kill
pig.
the pig to start it. Wait, we fuck the pig?
I guess.
I guess.
We never said we were.
Okay.
We never said we were appropriate here.
Let's do a cheese. I had an idea for a cheese this week, but then I decided to go with this nail polish that somebody put in ScramJet this week.
What?
There's that's La Dulce Velveeta cheese scented nail polish.
Hold up.
So
what the fuck?
Yeah. So you can put on a nail polish that will smell like cheese. Okay, I like it. I approve.
Why?
Why not? Why not?
Okay.
I'm just thinking if a woman wanted to seduce me, that's what she'd have that on her nails, and like go put her finger, shush me, but then I'd smell the Velveeta and I'd fall in love.
I think if she smells like cheese, there might be a problem.
Why does it have to be a woman? I mean, maybe this is my ultimate goal.
Are you saying that you are going to paint your nails with cheese
and seduce me? That's fine.
Seduce Chig. I mean,
I'm okay with that.
I'll make an exception. Okay.
I invited you guys tubing, right?
I mean,
you did.
Well, what do
you think tubing means?
What do you think the goal was, guys? Shit.
Oh my god.
Well, how's this thing go? Whatever happens on the river stays on the river.
Yep. That's the old joke.
When I was a
kid. No, I'm not going to tell this joke. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's
tell it to us offline.
Yeah. We'll keep it. Yeah. We were talking about putting our dick in a Thargoid thing. All right. Last thing, couple of movie anniversaries real quick. Couple interesting ones. This was 20 years ago, 2002. The Bourne Identity, the first one of the Bourne films came out. You guys fans of that?
like
I
the
haven't
books.
seen any of them. I haven't seen a single one.
Oh, I'm a big fan. They're good movies. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole franchise of those movies. I haven't. It's not like a movie that I've watched a bunch of times over and over, but I'll stop and watch it if I see it on TV when I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah, they're pretty
Uh,
good. I mean, anyway, it's Matt
another
Damon, so
another one the same year. The Minority Report. Well, Minority Report. It's not the Minority Report. Minority Report. Do you remember that one?
Never seen
top
it.
notch flick.
Yep, with Tom Cruise. You haven't seen
Yeah.
that. You just don't watch movies, Dubs. Why
I
are we
don't,
friends?
man. I don't watch movies unless my wife wants to watch it. Then I watch it.
Man, Minority Report is really good. That's not another Philip K. Dick movie. The stories that he does are he's amazing.
It's a short story, right? And they blew it up into a whole movie. Is that right?
One of them. I don't know if that one was a short story or it was one of his full novels. Because I mean, he wrote a shit ton of novels and a ton of short stories.
Mhm.
I mean, he's Blade Runner is based off of one of his short stories.
iRobot. I think iRobot is.
No, I think that's Asimov.
It is Asimov. You're right.
That's
You're
Asimov. Total Recall is him. Man in the High Castle is him. Trying to think of some of the other ones. He's got a great series of short stories. It's kind of like Love, Death, and Robots,
right.
but it's Electric Dreams. It's on Amazon, I think. Amazing anthology of just of his short stories turned into things with some pretty well-known actors starring in them. He did, I think, Scanner Darkly. That was a weird ass movie.
Mhm.
Total Recall, The Adjustment Bureau. He did a lot of stuff and a lot of crazy stuff. Read his story. Actually, he was kind of a nut job, but also kind of a freaking genius. He's a neat guy. I highly recommend. If you haven't seen Minority Report, go see that. And the original Total Recall, the remake was fucking dog shit.
Dog shit.
Yeah.
By itself, it was not a bad movie. If it was named anything else, it would not have been a bad movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, they made a movie about Mars, not about Mars. So
yeah, it was so weird.
Yeah.
Really compared to the original, and I think that the original was actually hurt by Schwarzenegger being in it because it was thought of as just this action movie, with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that was a freaking brain twisting, awesome concept movie that was hidden in this action movie. So yeah, I love that movie so much.
So I have a question for you real quick. Do you think Quaid is still in the dream, or do you think he's out?
I think it was all a memory. Yeah. It was so all too. The implant. Yeah. The whole thing was an implant. Yep.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And in fact, I've actually watched it recently, and I feel like there's some
clues.
Yeah, clues in there that lead you to think that. So
yeah, it's so that's amazing. Yeah, Philip K. Dick. Go read his books, short stories, watch his movies, all of them. Electric Dreams on Amazon. I'm plugging a dead guy right now. Phrasing. God damn it.
Oh, whoa.
I don't know.
Just own it. You're doing what you want to do.
Yeah. I'm thinking about cheese scented nail polish again.
Lord.
I don't know. I got nothing else this week. You guys got anything?
Nothing productive.
Okay, next week I think we're without Mommy again, but hopefully we get a few more guys to show up, and hopefully I have some time to actually do some reading on the game and play the game a bit so we can talk about stuff.
I'll try and pay more attention.
I'll try to fix my shit.
Yeah, just try to log in. That's your goal. Just get in the ship.
I thought you were talking about your life in general. I'll fix my shit.
I'm not doing that.
That's too much work.
And none of us are licensed to help you with it either. So, all right. I guess we'll just How do I get these guys? Did I type leave? Is that what I do?
Yep.
You've done this
Leave.
before.
Yes, leave.
Yeah, they stayed with us the entire time, so
I
let's
know,
just hope
that's
they were
weird.
actually recording. You know, usually one of them has a green ring lit up around him, so that's a little concerning.
Does it?
Yeah, it's
I think
usually the
Craig-
G arc. Oh well,
Is it
I don't
G-Arc?
know then. Both of us at the opposite one. Neither of us know
There's
anything.
usually a ring on one of them.
Oh no. Well, okay. I'm gonna end the show. We're gonna end this in a panic. Be like, oh no.
Well, if it's a show,
And-
if it's a show, if it's not, it's a lost episode, and we'll just move forward. You know, we
Yeah.
only got
That
one.
would be the second one.
I
Yep, we
see
only
what
got
we do
one.
is we just repost like episode 4 or something like that, just randomly and renumber it 137 and go with it.
No, that's next year's April Fools. We're just going to pull up episode 2 and move forward.
Yeah, but we'll do something. That's our favorite holiday of the year. All right, everybody, say bye.